to face any monster that stands in my way.
Jonas Zimmerman, Day 4. I have successfully isolated the substance inside our test tank. But this breakthrough could have the deadliest consequences, and we must now proceed with extreme caution. The experiment chamber has been sealed from the outside. Access is strictly forbidden, restricted to the most senior personnel. I'm convinced this specimen can be developed into our vaccine. It shows great potential, but we are still a long way from achieving our goal. As a doctor with centuries of medical knowledge at my disposal, I must strongly oppose the idea of treating all of our soldiers with this substance. As the man personally responsible for the results, my recommendation is to select a small test group instead. But the scientist's voice is not always heard. Wherever disease strikes, our duty is to save lives. That is the cause I dedicate myself to. The stronger the soldier, the mightier the army, the greater the nation. This is true progress.
April 3rd, 1916. I know you'll find this interesting. We had great trouble convincing General Staff to finance this project, but as ever, you can rely on my powers of persuasion. The lab must be exclusively for the Army's use when all this is over, and not for the civilian population. I'm sorry, but that was the agreement. I can't claim to understand how you'll be using all this equipment, but you know I have total faith in you. With the support we're giving you now, everything should work out well. Let me know if anything goes wrong, or if you need any more help. The equipment will be sent within a couple of hours of my dispatching this note. I wish you all the best. It's simple. We need that vaccine. Your friend, Hans.
April 7th, 1916. Everything is progressing on time, thank you. I know that feeling when everything starts to blur and all you see are images you can't make sense of. I don't envy you. The responsibility day after day must be killing you. You once asked me why I chose to be a doctor and not a military man. Now you have your answer. Sooner or later, all the world's secrets will be buried under the corpses of ordinary soldiers. No, I'm not saying the civilian population should have access to everything we have, but surely to some part of it. That's only natural. This plague in the field is deadly serious, and I am going to stop it. It shouldn't take me more than a few weeks to develop the cure and deliver it to you at the fortress you mentioned last time. I know you need every spare man, and so I shall deliver the antidote myself. Yes, that's right, Hans. Leave everything to me. Funny, isn't it? Years after we left our childhood village, some things never change. All the best, Jonas.
November 13th, 1916, 22 miles northeast of the Somme. I used to look up to him like a brother. We all did. Always looking out for us, always in control. But the army let him down. Too full of weaklings. Men from the gutter, pathetic excuses for human beings. We knew he deserved better. That's why so many of us followed him here. Not because he promised us power, but because we believed in him so much. And then he betrayed us. Locked us down there where those mutilated men could get at us. Sprayed us with that oil. I'll never forgive what he's done, or forget what he's become. I want our voices heard. When I get back home, I write to everyone who's willing to listen. Germany has done nothing to deserve Field Marshal Menge. Georg Späth.
Interesting. A hunger for flesh. This disease...
October the 16th, 1916, on some god-forsaken station. They can't say I didn't try.
A barbarian device. But their heads won't like the feel of it.
The enemy is attacking!
Pathological symptoms. It's spreading even faster than we thought. More infected men. But their symptoms don't look the same. This is chaos.
Watch my back.
The youth of today, brave, stupid, and can't survive without an old man's help. Oh yes, I've missed the feel of cold Imperial steel.
Quick! This way! The barricade won't hold unless we help them! Be careful! This disease is sending some of our boys insane. They're firing at us for no reason and...
Damn fool! All these raw recruits? Seems like they need me more than I need them. These aren't the same as the others. Something much worse is happening here. Engineers are better than our soldiers. I'd better go in there. Not that there'll be much help to me.
Hold faster.
There's some dynamite in a room near here. Use some of it on this blockade. Quickly, there's not much time.
Get out.
Who are you? The reinforcements? And I thought I'd been in the army a long time. Listen, this area's already lost. Everybody's either escaped or they're dead.
Oberleutnant Jonas Zimmerman of the 6th Corps, 8th Army. I have an urgent delivery for the Field Marshal.
Well, the officers have all been evacuated to Fort Stern. You should come with us to the field airport. It's close enough. And find yourself a pilot to get you there. We're supposed to rendezvous with our train crew. They'll be passing nearby.
That makes me angry.
October the 5th, 1916. We've had to retreat. Something terrible happened. There's not enough of us to handle this. I have to gas the corridors. There's too many of them. I have a few minutes to eat now, but I can't. I have to write something, anything. They're shaking a bit, but they wouldn't be. We're heading back to the station. Our transport could arrive any time now. We lost her.
This thing away. Stay close, though. The creatures are everywhere.
Yeah! Let's go!
What's happening here? This disease, it's nothing like the one I was working on.
Don't know what it is. That's bloody fast. Some of them behave like mad animals. And others, they're evil. It's like they're possessed. Ambush, take cover! Don't stop, let's go!
We can't move on without masks.
Someone go and find us gas masks! Hurry up! Can't take much more of this!
October 3rd, 1916. I've heard from one of our pilots that the Lost Company is now led by a man called Menge, or something like that. Don't remember the name, but from what the pilot says, they went missing a few days ago. He's a good bloke. He's sticking around to send our men in the right direction. Florian Lechler.
War, plague, and a bunch of idiots. Now where are the masks?
Your blood.
Stay and fight!
My turn now.
Got one.
Welcome to death.
Another one. That's it now. Dark corridors, men turning into monsters, and I'm out collecting masks. Unbelievable.
September 19th, 1916. Near the hell of Flair Courcelette. Voices in my head. Voices outside. A battle. A great battle. They said I have potential. And here I am. Doors barricaded. Hiding like a coward. No one can find me here. I go up there. I'll never come back. Leon Vogel.
I get a scary costume too?
Thanks, old man.
Kill the traitors!
The enemy is attacking! The enemy is attacking!
Each bullet.
I am with you!
I am defending!
I am defending! I am with you!
Our lads are having a hard time. We have to go back to the train now and get all the ammunition the hell away from this mess. You're on your own now. Ready to fight! And now, death!
September 20th, 1916. They made this the testing ground, want to defeat us from the air. Dropping canisters of some strange sort of oil. Everyone's dug in here at the airport. Max Hahn.
When they are so sick, and what causes all this? It's like rabies with elements of typhoid. It's unbelievable.
Just stop a drink of it. And now,
This is definitely not from our world. What the hell is happening?
113487. This package must be delivered immediately to the main post office and then sent to Dr. J. Zimmerman, Danziger Straße, Berlin. Forces assigned for protection. 13 riflemen, 1 machine gunner. Lieutenant Maximilian Schlechter, protect at all cost. Signed, Field Marshal H. Menge.
Jonas Zimmerman, Day 6. I advise you all, never underestimate this project. The sooner we succeed, the sooner our army will be equipped for a glorious victory. I've made certain changes to the experiment, and our results are now more stable. A breakthrough is surely imminent.
January 1898. From within the Great Construction. I'm starting to understand what the kobolds have built here, and it's not quite as complicated as I first imagined. They seem to have run a series of lines along the ground which bring lightning down to Earth. They use this as a light source. On the surface, lightning brings fire and so destroys houses. But here, old Father Roth was right. Satan does live underground and is using the power of nature in ways God never intended. As far as I'm aware, the kobolds seem to be entirely ignorant of the word of God. When I finally meet them, my task will be to spread his word. Arnulf Ziegler, first enlightener of the kobold race. October the 11th, 1916. A long way from Guillemont. They keep coming. Never stop. Everything around them they destroy. Endless killing. Soldiers disappearing. Just a few weeks ago this place was almost peaceful. And now, they come. They look around. And then the killing starts. Who are they? What's this all about? A pilot turned up, a German, strange bloke but pretty friendly. He was operating around the airport, he said, and he noticed something strange going on with the planes. The pilots don't seem to fly above a certain height, as if something in the air won't let them. Nothing makes sense anymore. David Smith. August the 22nd, 1916. Where no one can find me, I hope. They're out there. I can sense them. Just behind those walls. Waiting. Crawling. Something terrible's happened down there, I know it. I'm trapped. My way out's blocked by the bomb wreckage. I won't give up, though. It'll be dark soon. Maybe they'll even forget about me. Thomas Gabbery.
Stay and fight!
I am attacking.
to waste on you freaks! Huh? thought I was the only survivor in this bloody mess. These godforsaken monsters, whatever they are, captured everything in sight. I need to get one of the planes back from them and fly as far away from this hellhole as I can. Oh, by the way, I'm Peter Fulqrum, at your service.
The name's Zimmerman. I've an urgent delivery for the Field Marshal. Listen, if we capture a plane together, will you get me to Fort Stern?
Well, 2 soldiers are better than 1. Why not, eh? Anywhere's better than here.
Schnell!
Jetzt gibt's keine Kampf! Time for revenge!
That makes me angry.
Schnell!
Makes me angry.
My work of 2 months had such potential. The final stage, the 6-day operation, gave our army every hope of perfecting the antidote. But they weren't patient enough. The project was closed down after one spectacular failure. But I know this vaccine will work, and my orders now are to deliver the substance personally to Field Marshal Menge and complete the work in the field. This is a terrible disease, and it has to be stopped. High Command seem to have washed their hands of the whole business, but something tells me they're going to regret all they've done to hinder my work. My old hospital in Berlin doesn't seem so bad now after all. Joining the army again so many years after I trained with the best sounds like a bad joke I fell for. Now life is all about discipline, taking orders and saluting my intellectual inferiors instead of devoting my time to things that are truly important. And yet I confess, I feel strangely positive too. Perhaps somehow this was meant to be.
April 12th, 1916. I greatly appreciate your role in all this. You remember when my father took us fishing, Jonas? The ice was thin, and I could hardly swim at the time. Afterwards you told me, everything must die eventually, but not today. Those words are truer than ever now. I won't leave my men dying in there. Bring me the cure personally, if that is your wish. In fact, your expertise in administering the vaccine will be of much value at this end. I am more grateful than ever. Your friend, Hans.
May the 14th, 1916. The first part of the serum has been isolated. A cure for this type of disease is never easy, but we are trying. If anything, the process is proving less complicated than I first feared. I'm aware of your last position, but please give me more information on the layout of the fortress. Also, is it really necessary for you to pull out of there? Surely the British troops won't launch a full-scale attack. They don't have enough healthy men. Jonas.
Dear friend, along with this letter I am sending you some blood and skin samples from soldiers who have died from the disease. And that's not all, my friend. I've accidentally discovered something that may be of even greater interest than the disease itself. 2 days ago, one of my lieutenants, Johann Schöpe, who's a fine soldier and a very decent man, brought me an amazing ancient sculpture. It's made with a strange red crystal that the regular troops have named Stones of Fury, or, if you'll forgive the language, lucky bastards. It turns out the men collect these things and have been doing so without anyone from HQ knowing for months. I have to say, Schöpe didn't seem to be quite himself, but he told me that one of our platoons discovered the first artifact while they were digging in the mud, building trenches. The soldiers started to notice that anyone carrying the artifact becomes faster, stronger, more aggressive. They claim they even become bulletproof, which of course, I simply will not believe. But I know for a fact that some soldiers have gone totally mad. Hence the talk of this fury, ripping enemies apart with their bare hands. I have no idea what's giving them such power. But I have many confirmed reports of battles becoming more and more violent. Our boys simply rush straight in and fight, using bayonets, knives, fists even. I shall send you a sketch of the artifact, and some others that I've seen. The whole thing is a mystery to me. I thought you might be the man to figure out exactly what these objects are. Yours truly.
We need to blast those planes to pieces before they take off! sky won't stay clear forever. Time elapsed this lovely spot for good. Shit! What is that?
Amazing! An extraordinary species!
Don't sound so impressed. Those bastards are trying to kill us.
It's some sort of war creature! The question is, where are they coming from? Hey, give us some cover! Not again! What chance do we have in this war? He's an old man and has to win all our battles! Destroy those creatures rather than study them.
They're dead. That's good. Study music instead. Much safer.
I could have found out what they are and how to make use of them.
What are you? Some kind of mad scientist?
I am an officer and an explorer. I seek knowledge for myself and victory for the fatherland.
I get the feeling when I land in the ship, it's gonna be a whole lot deeper with you on board. Now don't waste time flying around here.
Personal note day 1. Last night I had a bad dream. Everyone was dead but me. When I arrived, the air was thick with the smell of sulfur and rotting bodies. Soldiers lay silent in death. All alone, my mind was racing. Stay alive, stay hidden. Remember your orders, deliver the package. Don't become another victim of this madness. And above all else, find out what's causing it. My company had been brutally crushed. A whole train full of men lost. A few escaped, but only to delay death. We all knew something was killing our men in the trenches. An unknown virus, erupting into a plague. And I had the cure. Now I had to find the first squad, the lost company, because they would know how it all began.
May 23rd, 1916. My orders arrived quickly, and they were simple enough. Defend the fortress at all costs. The English didn't let up, and Scottish regiments had joined the attack. We were surrounded. Every time we pushed them back, they just kept coming. Relentless as the plague. Some joke, hey? What's the latest news on the vaccine? Have you begun phase 2 yet? Your friend, Hans.
June the 4th, 1916. Yes, phase 2 is underway, but it is complicated, and patience is the only answer. I'm as frustrated as anyone, but I know we're nearly there. The pressure isn't helpful, though. High Command never let up. They've no idea how complex these things are. How can you work with a gun at your head? I'd appreciate it if you'd pass my sentiments on to the powers that be. Use that silver tongue you're always boasting about. Jonas.
Dear friend, your work is very important to me, and I regret not being on hand to assist you directly in your research. Here's the next set of samples. I'm sure you will find them even more astonishing than those I sent previously. If I may make a specific request, would you please test how the samples react to a high-voltage stimulus? Auto contact with acid or any form of poison. It may sound unlikely, but I'm convinced that soldiers who have the disease also become more and more aggressive. I would go so far as to say they become lost to some uncontrollable rage. They are, of course, of no value to us in this state. Some seem to lose their orientation entirely and attack everyone in sight. As such, we must find a way to treat them, or even, I'm sorry to say, a method of killing them. I know that sounds cruel, but as these men are beginning to pose as much of a threat to us as the enemy, there really is no alternative. Best wishes, Field Marshal H. Menge.
Are you still breathing, soldier? Hold on, I'll get you out of there. Anyone with you? Damn, not anymore. I can't help your buddy.
Scheiße, my leg. And we almost made it. This creature came flying at us.
Well, your friend wasn't so lucky. But glad you made it. By the look of your plane, seems your guardian angel had a busy night. There's a house close by. I'll get you there. Take a look at your wounds.
Wait! You're a damned Englishman!
No, Fritz. I'm a damn American. Lieutenant George Patton's the name. Don't be so choosy about who's saving your life, soldier.
I don't thank my enemies.
Thanks are for barmaids and bellboys to save your breath. Point is, our little war's become irrelevant. Now move! They'll come at us as soon as it's dark. Get up! Get up! They're here! They're all over us! Door's blocked, okay? There's a gun on the table. Use it! I'll take care of the roof! You won't take us alive, you unleashed bastards! You want more? Yeah, I'll give you more!
27 miles from Gilmont. I don't know why, but this landscape reminds me of home. Sometimes I can even see the hills and green grass stretching out in front of me. A flashlight blazes in front of my eyes, and I remember where I am. With nothing around.
Not safe here. There's too many of them tonight, and the barricade. I should find the rest of my tanks.
Doubt it.
Let's move.
28 miles from Guillemont and 16 miles from Flers-Cousselet. This had been a place of rest for our men, a sanctuary. Then he came. With his strange oil, he poisoned everything. The nurses used to feel privileged working here, saving lives in a holy place. We all do. This October the 11th, 1960. Away from Guillemont. They keep coming. Never stop. Everything around them they destroy. Endless killing. Soldiers disappearing. Just a few weeks ago this place was almost peaceful. And now they come. They look around. The stars. Who are they? Out. Turned up. A German. Strange bloke, but pretty friendly. He was operating around the strange going on with the planes. The pilots don't seem to fly above us. Something in the air won't let them. Nothing makes sense. David Smith.
Move on up! I'll guard this entrance. Lock the other end, then get yourself back here.
I don't take orders from you, Lieutenant. But I happen to agree with your plan.
I'm honored. Now move it!
Damn! I'm on my own now.
Got you.
your gun down. I'm not gonna hurt you. We're all that's left of our regiment. We tried to break into the monastery. They've got some French tanks there, see? About the only things that'll damage these bloody monsters, whatever they are.
The monastery? That's where I'm going.
Oh, are ya? Some chance. The cavern's the only way through, and that's full of creatures like you've never seen. Horrific. They'll tear you to pieces. And plenty more of these bug-eyed freaks before you even get there. You've not got a hope in hell.
You can rot here forever if you like. I'm going on.
You're bloody mad, you know that?
I have a mission and my duty. Is that a British concept?
I'll show you what a Scotsman can do, pal. Yeah. And I'll get even with those flesh-dripping bastards while I'm at it. We'll help clear your way to the cavern. But if you want to go inside, be those monsters' dinner, that's your lookout.
What are you? No! I feel cold. It did something to me. Have I caught the disease?
No, this is no disease. This is the turn of the tide. We feel the seed of change you carry with you. You are not like the others. Show me you are worthy. Show me.
I thought you were dead.
I could say the same about you, Lieutenant. How did you make it through?
Takes more than a bunch of meat-faced loons and a few flames to stop one of the tank corps, even without my beautiful Renault.
So, what now?
You wanted to get to Fort Stern, am I right?
If I can get there, I may be able to bring this horror to an end.
Well, I'll drink to that, pal. It's a long way, but if we can get my tank rolling, I'll get you there in one piece.
Oh, American technology has let you down, Lieutenant?
My little baby's French, and she's lost her heartbeat. You'd call that a carburetor. We can fix her up, but it means taking our chances in the monastery.
I've never been there, but I have a bad feeling about this monastery.
And so you should. It's being used as a lazaret. Quarantine, you know? But it's one hospital where you wouldn't want the nurses looking after you.
Why not?
We stopped there last night to repair the carburetor. It was late, looked abandoned. Collins took the gear inside to get some light, and we never saw him or the carburetor again. Instead, we had to fight off these damn crazy nurses, more like animals. Looked like they got rabies or something. Anyway, I think we have company. Let's go! Get inside the main chapel and try to unlock the side door to the monastery. Walker locked it with a key, but some butcher-like fat bastard cut him in half with a meat cleaver. And God knows where he is now. So watch your back. I'll stay here and cover you from all the freaks coming this way. And don't mess around with the sisters if you meet any. They're faster than the rotten bastards we've seen so far. And not much prettier.
Doctors and nurses, here, good boy now, and come to me.
The same behavior, but their flesh doesn't seem to be rotting. and far too heavy to break open. So, where's that key? head for the monastery. I had crossed the first line. This battlefield will soon be a distant memory, I told myself, to keep my spirits high. But only a blind man cannot see the truth. Something they didn't want to speak of, something hidden in the shadows, had shown itself in the sunlight of war. In broad daylight, its finger pointing at me. What chance did I have of putting this right, delivering the vaccine, making it work? I used to be a scientist. Now I'm just a long-forgotten shadow of that man, blinded by the horror, by my own ambitions. Something terrifying is breathing down your neck. Do you run or turn to face it? An army man knows his place. He obeys orders. He salutes and marches proudly into dangers a normal man would never face. But this was different. Without men who are healthy, without men who are alive, you cannot win a war. You won't find that on the recruiting posters. I wonder why.
January 1898, from deep underground. The mine was virtually empty, only a handful of men still at work. Then, the next day, it was closed down, abandoned and boarded up. And it was that very night that I awoke and saw the lights, and I followed. They led me to the mine, to the second entrance, this safety tunnel they'd built all those years ago. I climbed in and followed these strange lights deeper and deeper underground. I knew very well the risk I was taking, but since my Helga died, who would sit waiting and worrying? The further I descended, the more of those lights I saw, floating in the air. I know the men from Freiburg have always been terrified of such things. They call them kobolds, mischievous sprites, and those who follow the lights never come back. When I reached the center, I was overwhelmed by what I saw. It was clear that here existed a race of people living by their own rules, and the quality of their engineering. How have they managed to construct such things? As I write, I have yet to encounter any of these people. When I was on the bridge earlier, I thought I heard something move behind me, but when I turned round, there was nothing there. I ate my last piece of bread yesterday. Water is also hard to find, but I've managed to drink a little from the rocks. That will have to do for now. I suspect no one knows I'm here, but my intuition tells me that soon enough I will encounter someone. Or something. I will write more tomorrow. Arnulf Ziegler, first explorer of the Kobold world.
Order number 113487. This package must be delivered immediately to the main post office and then sent to Dr. J. Zimmerman, Danziger Straße, Berlin. Forces assigned for protection. 13 riflemen, 1 machine gunner. Lieutenant Maximilian Schlechter, protect at all cost. Signed, Field Marshal H. Menge.
28 miles from Guillemont and 16 miles from Flers-Cousselet. This had been a place of rest for our men, a sanctuary. Then he came. With his strange oil, he poisoned everything. The nurses used to feel privileged working here, saving lives in a holy place. Now they just feel tainted. We all do. This has become a place of sin.
Fabian Oster.